Hi everybody, I'm back here for a new review on, this will be the first on series, and of course I decided to choose the X-Files as the emblematic show returns next year. I felt like doing this marathon of season 1 and I'm here giving a review. This review will be divided in 3 parts, 3 volumes, and with many topics related to the show. So there will be 3 videos, and in the last one I'll eventually give my personal top 5 of the episode from season 1. So here we go. The X-Files was an incredible hit. Its popularity gave birth to what was really an X-File generation. Many movies came out because the X-Files were popular with the theme of extraterrestrial life. Movies like Men in Black, Contact, and The Arrival. Science fiction openly got its audience, and series could then follow, for example, Dark Skies in 1996. Let's remember how successful the show was at the time. But now it wouldn't necessarily be the case, I think. This is due to basically 3 reasons. Number 1, it was made of slow-paced episodes. Each episode roughly lasts 42-43 minutes, and most of the time the most spectacular takes place during the last 5 minutes of the episode. Number 2, the fact that it doesn't always show what us eager viewers long to see. As teenagers, we were craving strange creatures, crazy monsters, the sight of aliens, and gory effects. But in that season there was not a lot of visual surprise, except maybe in the Tombs episodes, which I'm gonna talk about in volume 2. But I'm not sure today's audience wouldn't get bored while watching season 1. And number 3, recurrence. Although plots and twists aren't always predictable, the structure of the episodes is quite repetitive, often with the ending as a climax. Besides, the Mulder and Scully relationship strengthens, and at the same time it seems to evolve rather slowly, which can certainly be tedious for the new viewers. All the show relies on the alchemy between the 2 characters, Mulder and Scully. It's a real alchemy between the 2, and this word alchemy is relevant because it also has another meaning. It's initially an elixir of longevity, which is the hallmark of the X-Files, because it lasted so long. Obviously, the relationship between the 2 FBI agents is what captivates as much as the weird cases they must deal with. Fox Mulder is first a tremendous psychological profiler before coming across the X-Files. He's familiar with serial killers and disappears a bunch of times in season 1. Paradoxically, he has a clear-sighted approach. He's the first to understand things and relate them, and yet he's a firm believer of the paranormal. Besides, he is characterized as a strenuous rebel with an unprofessional behavior, often losing his temper. David Duchovny said the character of Mulder was a bit like some kind of teenager that he should be profiled to, because you never see him sleeping in a bed, only on a couch. The starting point for Mulder, and the most important for the series, is the unexplained abduction of his sister. This story arc serves as a basis for the show. Concerning Dana Scully, she is complementary, brings the medical, biological expertise. Down to earth, skeptical, she first has to cope with Mulder's views and personality. But she gradually has to face the strangeness of the various cases. Interestingly, she is also a contradictory character. She has faith and she is a Catholic, but she doesn't believe in the paranormal. Little by little, she will support Mulder even though she takes risks. Gillian Anderson decided to add innocence and intelligence to the Scully persona, and also a determination to resist and face up Mulder. Now, all these elements, they make this pair, the partners, a great iconic team, like yin and yang. Well, the connecting thread of the X-Files is definitely aliens and extraterrestrial life, government conspiracy and the army involvement. All this has been called the mythology of the X-Files, sometimes referred to the mytharc by the staff and fans. About this topic I'm going to focus on episode 1, the pilot. The pilot is a great opening, though it's not my favorite from season 1. You can see there's no opening credits, so we don't hear the famous epic theme by Mark Snow, which is kind of weird, as it is the hallmark of the X-Files, that whistle-blowing sounds. But the episode mostly depicts the meeting of the two agents Mulder and Scully, and exposes the first case of a supernatural event in Oregon, based on a true story apparently. The pilot sets the scene and forecasts all extraterrestrial activities, government conspiracy, the denying of alien existence. It's a decent episode, but it's not the most exciting in my opinion. Episode 2, Deep Throat. I'm not a big fan of that episode. It also rides the government conspiracy trend, introducing the eponymous character Deep Throat, inspired by an informant, the pseudonym of an informant during the Watergate scandal. It's played by Jerry Hardin, who also acted in Star Trek, and he helped Mulder several times in season 1. Hey man, don't Deep Throat has to do with porno? Well, Deep Throat is an American pornographic film released in 1972 and is considered one of the first to feature a plot.
Deep Throat, and the truth is in there.
Anyway, the most notable scene is Mulder under a UFO stopping above him. The special effects have sure grown kinda terrible, as Chris Carter admitted, the worst effects we've ever done on the X-Files in Deep Throat. On the same thread of alien and conspiracy, I'll put in the same box several episodes that are Episode 4, Conduit, Episode 9, Space, Episode 10, Fallen Angel, Episode 17, EBE, Episode 24, The Mirror Flask. Among these episodes, I mostly enjoy the fact that in Episode 4, the character of Mulder is being developed. We witness him being restless, impatient, and traumatized by the loss of his sister. In the ending, he is to be seen sitting alone in a church, crying while watching the picture of his sister. Episode 4 is great because it highly relies on the childhood dimension, through the disappearing of the sister and also through the somewhat mysterious boy before the TV, resembling the famous poltergeist scene. By the way, I'll deal with the topic of scary youth more specifically in Volume 2, because it's often an underlying theme in the Season 1, the first season. Fallen Angels, the set is the eccentric characters of Max Fenning, a fan of Mulder, the introduction of the lone gunman, and the presence of an invisible alien. The climax of the episode is the scene when Mulder enters the warehouse and finds Max floating in bluish light before disappearing. EBE wasn't that exciting. probably the most boring episode of season 1, EBE. And the last episode, the finale, is just killing the informant, killing Deep Throat, trying to leave a finale cliffhanger, and the corny cue takes place, just no one. So to conclude the first volume on season 1, I'd say that the alien threat of the X-Files is not really the most appealing to me, but I acknowledge its success back in those days. I'll deal with more exciting episodes from season 1 in volume 2, episodes that I personally find more successful, more interesting. Well, thanks for watching and stay tuned for volume 2. Peace.